So now to talk more about this, we want to bring in political analyst, Republican Carl Calabrese.
Carl, let's begin with your thoughts on what you saw earlier today and what you think the future is for the governor in the next couple of weeks, given the growing pressure on him from many people to resign.
Well, the governor started his comments out by saying that his lawyers told him not to say anything, but he was going to go ahead anyways, and he probably should have followed his lawyer's advice, because he made some statements in there that allowed the attorney for the first accuser to really jump all over it. He said he wasn't aware of anything, and the lawyer immediately came back and said, wait a minute, my client is prepared to swear under oath that after he did this to her, she went to both his chief of staff and his legal counsel and told them about what happened. So now the governor would have us believe that neither his legal counsel or his chief of staff gave him a heads up on it. And I really find that hard to believe. So I think, I do agree with the governor on this. I don't want to do what many Democrats did with Brett Kavanaugh's nomination, and that is throw due process under the bus. Let's wait for the Attorney General's report, her investigation report, and let's see what the evidence shows. And if it's true, these accusations are true, he should resign. Whether or not he does is another issue. But as you mentioned, growing number of Democrats are calling for his resignation. As of yesterday, you had one Democrat member of the House of Representatives from New York, 11 Democrat state assembly members, 6 Democrat state senators. You had the Working Families Party. You had his sexual harassment working group call for it. You had the mayor of New York. You had 3 Democrat candidates for mayor of New York. And you had also the New York State Young Democrats. So it's a growing chorus. I would prefer to wait. Let's see what happens. But he's in serious trouble in terms of his governorship and any plans going forward in terms of maybe someday running for president.
Well, there's been a lot of comment on Twitter, certainly, Carl, about the governor's decision to talk today and him being able to lead going forward. Is that not the great challenge now, is for him to somehow quiet all the distraction and continue leading through a pandemic? Do you think that's possible?
Personally, no, I do not. But again, we're talking about 2 different courts here. We're talking about the court of public opinion. We're talking about legal issues that would play out in a court of law. Obviously, he is going to wait for the Attorney General's report, and if it exonerates him, that is what he's going to waive. But again, that doesn't necessarily play well in the court of public opinion. And this could be the type of issue that really hurts him in his reelection in 2 years. It could really not only produce a much stronger Republican candidate, but it could also really suppress his support in New York City. And if he doesn't have the overwhelming numbers of New York City that he's enjoyed in the past, he can be beat.
All right. Thank you for your insight. Republican strategist Carl Calabrese, thanks for joining us tonight at 5 o'clock. We appreciate it, as always, Carl.